And welcome to day 26 of the Just Ship It challenge. And yeah, there is a countdown. I can feel it. I can definitely feel it. I only have a couple of days left, right? So more or less one work week to get that tool ready to say, well, it's actually ready to be shipped, and also to define a little bit what that event will actually entail. Yesterday we made the first draft version of the website, and I think that's important, right? There must be a website, otherwise we cannot ship it. There must be a mailing list. I haven't done that, so the mailing list must be somehow connected to the website as well, and so that people can get in touch and can actually become beta users of the tool. And so I was very afraid, like, how far do you have to go with that? But actually, just by creating this website and talking about this website, I have a new request for a beta user, so I'm really happy about that. And yeah, I'm really thrilled that that's happening. So I think what I want to achieve by the end of the month, so within this week, is that really all these three views that we talked about, like participation view, a time view, and size view, are done. And I think I told you that there's one still left to do, and it should be fairly quick, right? Probably a day that I'm spending on that, because it's very much the same building blocks that I had to create, or that I used to create all the other sites and views as well. And the backend is already done, so the analysis is already there. It's just the visualization that's a little bit missing. So yeah, I have to do that. And then how to get in contact must be a little bit clearer from the website. And in general, the website needs more, a renewal, or more dedication. Let's put it that way. Needs more dedication. The copy must be better. Yesterday I was very tired, and we tried to do it in an hour. And you have seen, well, an hour. We spent a whole hour just for a few paragraphs of information and description of the tool, but it's not there, right? I should probably spend another 4 hours, I guess 4 hours, then it's in a state where I'm happy to share it. And I also have to link it to the custom domain, right? Right now it's really a Netlify, Why do they get so difficult domain names? It's only for English speakers, I think. Yeah, right now it's not on my domain, right? So I have to link it to my domain name. Yeah, and then the blog post. I'm still I still have to do the blog post. It was almost done last Tuesday, and so I haven't done any progress since last Tuesday. So it's in the same stage. It's almost done. So let's say half a day for getting the website ready, probably half a day for getting the blog post really ready, then one day for having the time view ready. So we have like 2 days that we really have to get that done. And actually I spent the day creating a YouTube video. I have a horrible setup. That's why I don't create I'm not creating many YouTube videos. I have a very small office, and it's not only office, it's the everything room, right? So unfortunately everything is in this room. And so yeah, I took actually a picture of how difficult it is to do the videos right now. I'm actually moving. I'm not really moving, but I will move in January, and because I'm not sure if my kids will be at another place because of the pandemic in the near future, right? I spent this week already packing some of the boxes, and so this is what I did. And so I actually had like several boxes on top of each other, and then there was the laptop on the box, so that I can make the presentation and add the lights. And it was very, very difficult. And then I actually realized that the camera only records for 15 minutes. So I would actually have to buy a cam link and things like that. So I think I will now, with this Black Friday, I will invest a little bit in my gear. and get me a better setup, because it was very painful to make this YouTube video. But I managed to do it. It's in 5 parts, because something, either so there was this 50 minutes limit, and then in addition, obviously, the battery died, right? So I had to stop and restart again. And yeah, so there were many things. Anyway, but I made this video, and I had the idea of doing this video for a long time. It's a video about my code review philosophy, more or less, and some ideas what teams can actually do to improve their code reviews. And so yeah, I wanted to do this video for a long time, and today I finally had the time to actually do it, even though it was extremely painful and I'm very tired after doing it. I should actually show you a picture. I don't know if I don't have it on my thing here, but my setup is horrible. Yeah, but this is what I did, and then I also implemented a little bit on the tool, so made it nicer. And then boxes, many boxes. And so something else that I did today was I was editing the podcast, because tomorrow is release day. And maybe if you remember 2 weeks ago on the stream, I was also doing a little bit for the podcast. And so I don't know, I might do the same today, because this is really a pressing issue, because I want to release the podcast tomorrow. So maybe I will spend a little bit of time with you and show you again how I'm giving the last touches to the podcast. Yeah, I think I'm a little bit earlier than I was last time. Last time I think everything was already in order. Today we actually have to include the beginning. I'll make a cut at the beginning and render it out, and then everything else around it, like making the website and preparing the posts for the social media and things like that. So yeah, this is what's still on my to-do list for today. Tomorrow I also have a meeting with my co-author about the book. So actually I should write quite a bit still. I don't think I will be able to do that today. I work the best actually in the mornings. I can wake up very early and be super fresh, and like I can directly go from the bed and sit here and be productive. I don't need anything. But in the nights, I really feel that my productivity goes down, and it's probably, if like right now I'm quite tired, so 9 p.m. is not the best time for me to be very productive. I think it's not even the best time for me to do the streams, but it's the only time that is really left, because the kids have to be in bed for it. But the main problem that I have is if I work during the night, right, like until after 10, I cannot fall asleep anymore, because then I really get energy again, and then I could work like for a long time. But it's really hard for my brain to get quiet and stop thinking about all the stuff that I want to do or have to do. And so yeah. So what do you think? I really have to do the podcast, so I think instead of working on the tool today, I will work a little bit on the podcast. I don't think there is anything else that I wanted to show you or that's new. An early adopter, right? I'm really happy about that. So there is a potential new early adopter that asked to be on the Codalytics beta list. And so I will definitely reach out and get that person on board. I'm really, really super excited for that. And so yeah, this is probably the biggest news for today. And yeah, I'm really, really happy about that. But let's have a look at the podcast, right? So I'm gonna share my screen, and maybe you remembered last time that I have like this very weird workflow where we talk like there's a lot of potential for automation, but it's also not very straightforward how to automate it. And so what I did before the stream, actually on the afternoon, I was editing this podcast, but I have a little bit of problem with this one here, that my voice was actually too loud. And so the whole thing started that there was a discussion between me and my guest if my mic is not loud enough. And so I adjusted the gain a little bit, and apparently it was too high. And so now it's a little bit pitchy. So if you hear my voice, it's not really a good quality. Unfortunately, I edited with Descript, and Descript I showed you the tool before. It's really cool, but it's very limited in what you can actually do for making the noise or the voice nicer. So right now I try to level it out, but it's more like a trial and error. I don't think that you can really judge it, but I will play it for you, so maybe you can hear. I try to have, like, obviously the guest on the same volume, the same amplification than my voice is, but I really had to reduce. You can see here I reduced Kent. I was actually interviewing Kent C. Dots. I reduced Kent almost 3 decibel, and for me minus 17 decibel. And I had to reduce both of us because mine was so high pitched. Yeah, let's listen to it.
You know, what do you say in your courses about mocks? What should people do?
Yeah, that's a great question. Mocks is a big subject, and first I'll preface it by saying that there is.
You know, what do you say in your courses about mocks? What should people do?
Yeah, that's a great question.
I'm a little bit afraid. I mean, it's better. I'm a little bit afraid that if I render it that way, it's not loud enough for my listeners. So I can go a little bit up. Let's. Oh, what did I do here? Sorry. Minus. I'm not even sure. I think this is not really doing something. So maybe this should be 0. I'm also not the best. Let's put it to 0 here, because I think this is just how loud it is. And then we can.
Courses about mocks. What should people do?
Yeah, that's a great question. Mocks is a big subject, and
see, because now we see that this is minus 17 here, and this is minus 3 here. So it's really applied on the, and this is just, I think, the volume that we hear.
You know, what do you say in your courses about mocks? What should people do?
Yeah, that's a great question. Mocks is a big subject, and first I'll preface.
I mean, he's really not loud enough, right? So this is Ken, so we have to actually, let's give him back to 0 decibel, right? Oh, something like that. And listen to it.
Yeah, that's a great question. Mocks is a big subject, and
what do you say in your courses about mocks? What should people do?
Yeah, that's a great question. Mocks.
It's not the best tool to make that correct. I also don't know exactly. There are clip properties and track properties, right? So I think we probably have to consult the website for that. So let's see. Descript clip property and what track property. Clip properties menu accessible. Adjusting clip volume. I don't know exactly what this means. You can adjust the volume of a clip by right-clicking on the clip in question and selecting Show Clip Property. The Track Inspector menu will open on the right sidebar, and you can adjust the volume by dragging the slider right or left. Okay? Yeah, okay, we can see here. But what is that? This is the whole, right? This is the whole. Is it just 1% or is it like the whole thing? I think maybe that's the difference here, right? So let's go back. So if you're looking at this here, and we're no, but see, it's just Kent, right? So it's not Kent and me. It's just Kent.
Courses about mocks. What should people do?
Yeah, that's a great question. Mocks is a big subject, and first I'll preface it by saying that there is a place for mocks. But the reason I preface that is because what I'm about to say is going to make people think that I don't think we should do mocks. So if like the reasons that you mentioned for why people want to mock is so that...
I really don't know what's the difference between volume. Oh, this is the volume, see? It's changing here. So volume, I think, is really just what I hear, I guess. So it's not really applying to the track, right? So I'm not changing the track. It's just the volume that I hear it. And here is really the clip property. I don't think it's very intuitive, to be honest, but I think we understood now.
Right, test faster and various other things like that. But that's actually not the reason that we test, right? Like the reason that we're...
So Okay, and what do you think about mine? I think it's still very pitchy.
For our buck. I don't want to repeat our conversation. I will link to.
There's like a track. There's like a compressor thing, right? So I don't know exactly how to do that. I've never done that before, to be honest. Maybe we have to get. Oh, here's the compressor, right? This is always. It always says restart descript, and when I restart, it says restart descript, right? I don't know what knee release. Let's read about what a compressor does. Descript compressor. I have to get better at descript. Compressor effect, right? So let's read about it. To learn more about how to add the effect. I don't want to learn about how to add it. I want to learn what it does, right?
Hey there, this is Andrew from Descript. I'm going to give you a quick preview of our new effects feature that lets you add for now compression and EQ effects to any track in your Descript composition. So the first thing you'll notice is that there's this new icon over here. This is the track inspector. It basically adds shows a channel strip of all the tracks in your composition. You'll see when I start playing here. It's playing the different tracks that are playing. And this is a nice quick way that I can adjust gain, pan, mute, solo, and add effects to individual tracks. You'll notice every time I add a pinned track just by dragging something in here, it just automatically adds a new track to the track inspector. So to add an effect, you can either click on this icon right here, the track inspector. If you want to add it to the overall mix, you can add it to this composition level. If you just want to add it to the stuff in your script track, you can add it here. And then for the pin tracks, you also have a quick little shortcut where you can add directly from here. In this case, let's add a equalizer to this music track, and you'll see that it just drops an equalizer right there. And from here, I can either tweak the bands manually, or I can click on the dot menu, and I can add a music sweetener, for example.
Or adding volume automation and sound effects.
So it's really as simple as that. I'll just show you if I want to add a compressor. I can go to the script track.
Wait, stop it. It's too much information. Let's try it out before we get to the next one. So let's add an equalizer. Maybe we can make, don't delete it. We can make it better. Maybe we can make better my thing. And then let's do something magically, right? Full range boost, light high pass filter. Oh, this sounds like something I need.
More bang for our buck. I don't want to repeat our conversation. I will link the previous episode.
So it actually reduced this one, right? So what does it say? Soft bright, hard bright, boxy boost reduction and music sweetener. Maybe let's remove it. Oh no, it's always disable effect, right? Oh. Enable effect. I don't know. It's not super intuitive.
Gives us more bang for our buck. I don't want to repeat our conversation. I will link the previous episode in the show notes. But I wanted to dig a little bit deeper, especially when we are talking about But I wanted to dig a little bit deeper, especially when we are talking about integration and system tests. The concepts of mocks comes up quite a bit. So mocking actually means that you create a fake version of your service, of your method, of your unit, right? That somehow replaces or more quickly without spinning up another system and things like that. But if you're thinking about that, what do you think about mocks? Somehow we are still not testing the real system, which was one of the things that you said is really powerful for integration testing, right? That you're having the whole system there and you're not, just one isolated thing. So if you're writing a lot of those mocks, somehow we are again creating a very artificial environment. What do you think about that? And how do you, what do you say in your courses about mocks? What should people do?
Yeah, that's a great question. Mocks is a big subject.
His audio is really nice, so we really have to play around with mine. And now I'm really playing around. I'm just going by ear. Actually, for the ear, I should probably also listen to it with a good thing here. But
without spinning up another system, and things like that. But if you're thinking about that, what do you think about mocks? Somehow we are still not testing the real system, which was one of the things that you said is really powerful for integration testing, right? That you're having the whole system there and you're not, just one isolated thing. So if you're writing a lot of those mocks, somehow we are again creating a very artificial environment. What do you think about that? And how do you, what do you say in your courses about mocks? What should people do?
Yeah.
You should read about an equalizer, what this does. Let us read about it. Like, what does an equalizer do? I mean, I know what it does, but let's read about like when you're adjusting one of those things, what do we get out of it, right? I'm not really good in reading. I'm just good in passing over things, right? So software or hardware filters that adjust the loudness of specific frequencies. Yeah, that's what I thought. Basic on the human ear. Certain frequencies are louder than others to our ears despite having the same or even more energy behind. Our ranges are between 20 to 20,000 hertz, and the closer we approach or exceed this boundary, the softer things get. Okay? The softer things sound. Our range is, and the closer we approach or exceed these boundaries, so we don't know if both, like. Okay, so what, like I have really this high pitch that I want to get away, right? So, for example, some venues will respond better to bass frequencies, so the equalizer can be turned down on that end to prevent feedback and turn slightly up on the higher end to even things out. In general, you equalize for the physical space to account for the particular combination of the room and equipment. Yeah, presets, but I actually want to understand what if you have a high pitch, I think that's how it's called, high pitch sound equalizer. Remove high pitch sound with equalizer, right? This is what we want. Something is happening with my voice actually. I talked a lot today with this YouTube video that I told you. How to remove high-pitched sounds from recording. If it's a high-pitched noise, you want a low-pass filter. Well, this is Audacity, right? But unfortunately, we are not using it. No. Okay, this is not working here. Maybe just put Descript there. Maybe people have that already with Descript. Overtones. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't see it here, right? We don't see exactly how our audio looks like in Descript. Yeah, let's learn about something about the frequency spectrum. I think that sounds good. We go from left to right and we start with 20 hertz. Then the right, we go to 20,000 hertz. Okay. Bass is on the low end of the left. You can feel 20 hertz if you're on a really large sound system, but not necessarily hear it, okay? Sub bass. Bass, okay. Low mids. Okay, so the higher we go, that's also why this this automatic filter, right, removed really the really low ones, but I didn't feel that it helped much with my high pitch. Okay. Set a high pass filter to 8 kHz. Listen to everything above the frequency. This type of filter lets the high pass through. It's cutting out the lows. Okay, let's try it again. So where was it? Here. We were here somewhere. Where is there's the compressor. Oh, the equalizer is here. Okay, let's listen to it again.
Artificial environment. What do you think about that? And how do you think about it? What do you think about it? What do you think about it? What do you think about that?
This is what I think is not that nice. Oh, where is my equalizer actually? Oh, took the wrong way. What do you think about it? It's just too high. So what did we hear? This is actually like more the pass, right? So we're reducing that. Are we reducing those frequencies, right? These higher ones, we're reducing them. We're reducing the higher ones. And let's leave the others like they are. I mean, this is what I got from this description.
Very artificial environment. What do you think about that? And
but it's still not nice.
what do you think about that?
Let's try it the other way around, just to, you know, hear what happens.
Environment. What do you think about that? And
But yeah, it's worse, right?
environment. What do you think about that?
I think at least. So I don't know. In general, I'm really messing here with my with my audio. It is not so nice. It starts with low. Yeah, I know. It starts with 20, right? And it goes up to 2000. I need to adjust the lower frequencies. You think I have to? Yeah, the 31, right? This is what we did. Lowest in the bottom. Yeah, but this is like 31. So 30 point. Okay, let me see. The scale is maybe also not what I completely got. This is like a high one. 1 kilohertz. 1000, 2005. So these are the really high ones, right? So these are the lower ones. Lowest in the bottom. Yeah, but we adjusted them. But it doesn't really like, do you think it sounds better?
Environment. What do you think about that? And how do you, environment. What do you think about that? And how do you,
I don't know exactly what that is. Let's remove it.
artificial environment. What do you think about that? And how do you,
What's actually happening here?
what do you think about that? And how do you, what do you say in your courses about mocks? What should,
It's very weird. I don't know. Yeah, like low as in the bottom. That's what I also understood. And so I'm making them lower, or do I make them higher? But we had like the light high pass filter. It was actually reducing, right, our thing here. Maybe I have to make them higher. What do you think?
what do you think about that? And how do you, environment. What do you think about that? And how
I
do
don't even know exactly what's happening here. So let me quickly go back to what do you think about that? That's what I ask him, right? Sorry. What the filter words? I just want to have like text though. What do you think about that here?
thinking about that? What do you think about mocks? Somehow we are still not testing the real. So mocking actually means that you create a fake version of your service, of your method, of your unit, right? That somehow replaces the real one, so that you can test faster or more quickly without spinning up another system and things like that. But
yeah, anyway, thank you. You want to remove hiss and noise? Try around 40k to 20k hertz. Yeah. I'm really not a sound engineer, and I really have a hard time even hearing, if it's better or worse. So I think I'm not the best person to adjust that here. To be honest, I don't even really hear the compressor. What's happening here? Threshold. I don't know.
Without spinning up another system
and this interface is also not. I will remove this effect here. And then, so you said I should remove hiss and noise by trying around 14 to to 20k gigahertz. So on this end. And what should I do with it? And this is this stupid descript thing here. Should I reduce it or should I up it?
Without, spinning up another system and things like that. But
reduce it, yes. Okay.
Faster or, more quickly without, spinning up another system and things like
Thank
that.
you.
But
I think it worked. And now again, I don't have like this, this thing. And I don't know, should we put that back up here?
Without, spinning up another system and things like that. But if you're thinking about that, without, spinning up another system and things like that. But if you're thinking about that, what do you think about mocks? Somehow we are still not testing the real system, which was one of the things that you said is really powerful for integration testing, right?
I don't even hear a difference.
That you're having the whole system there, and
but I think this really helps.
Just
Thank you so
one
much.
isolated thing. So if you're
writing
really a lot of those mocks,
let's go back and listen to it here again. And actually should listen to it with some headphones on.
So Kent, last time we talked about integration versus unit testing. And with me, Kent, welcome to the show.
I'm super thrilled to be back here. Thank you so much for having me again.
So Kent, last time we talked about integration versus unit discuss. So I'm super thrilled to have him back here with me. Kent, welcome to the show.
I'm super thrilled to be back here. Thank you so much for having me again.
So Kent, last time we talked about integration.
I think it's okay. Thank you so much. I think it's okay. I will just export it. Yeah, you tried? Was it difficult? Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine. I transcribed a lot of interviews at university before there was like this artificial thing. So when we did user studies, you also had to transcribe the interviews. And like one of my biggest PhD studies that I made, I interviewed, I think, 25 developers and each of them for 1 hour. This was horrible. And you had really to transcribe every minute and be extremely precise with what they said. So, Kent, after Descript, I actually exported it before, but then I realized that it doesn't, the audio volume wasn't good. So let's open Audacity, because now the rest I will do actually with Audacity. And I recorded something here. Which show did you try to transcribe? Which one? Let's open the intro, and then let's export it as MP3. Intro. Here we go. Okay. We don't say anything about it. System design something. Yeah, this was at GitHub, right? Diana Mounter. System design at GitHub probably. Yeah, this one. So you completely transcribed it just by listening to it, and then you were writing down what you were hearing. How far did you come? Could actually just use the intro. Let's just use the intro, I think. We don't have to do another thing.
I will be very selective. But before I start, I want to...
So what is doing? Normalizing my audio. It will take some time. So let's maybe start with the website of it in the meantime. Okay, so you tried to fix the transcript that was hosted on GitHub. After 60 minutes, stopped and and how far did you come in 60 minutes? Like how much of the transcript, like 5 minutes or? It's really difficult, I know, because I try to improve them myself, but it's really time consuming. Sometimes you're even faster if you just, so this is why for some of them I say you can just read through it, right? So many of the things, even smaller things, you can even improve when you just read through the transcript. But sometimes it's so gibberish that it's really hard to make any sense out of it. Episode 29. I have no title yet for it. What was it about? Testing. So most of it, let's look at what we actually talked. We talked about mocks, right? And then what else did we talk about? How did we call? Because I actually had him already on the podcast before, Kent. And we talked a lot about testing. Why you should double down on integration tests with Can See Dots. Yeah, okay. Do not mock your system. A test discussion with Can See Dots. And this is too long, but let's go with it for the time being, right? Let's edit it. We have to find a better title for it. So my templates are here. Podcast header with image. No. And then we actually, because we had Kent already here, it's a little bit easier. We have things already here, right? In this episode, I talked to Can See Dots. And then let's just take the same introduction that we had here. We talked about, and let's update this thing here. So a software engineer. You know what's really a little bit ashamed that you always see me in this state, in this like I'm so tired state. I'm like most of my stream I could say like I'm so tired. It would be really cool if I would stream in the mornings instead in the evenings when I'm fresh and have a little bit more brain power left. We talked about why, oh, this doesn't look nice. Talked about why you should not mock your software system during testing. How testing library helps create more meaningful and maintainable tests. How testing increases your confidence in the software system. I'm super tired most of the time. Like as I said, the problem is not really the energy level. It's just that my brain really says like, oh, I'm so tired. I have to think about something else now. And then if I'm over it, like then I somehow get a boost again, but then I cannot sleep, which is even worse because I hate if I'm lying in the bed and I can't sleep. Why you should not mock your software system during test? How testing library helps. Why is that? This is a uppercase thing. How testing library helps create more meaningful and maintainable tests. Why automation improves or if and how manual testing is still needed to increase your confidence in the software system. That's it. Let's leave it that way. What's happening here? How testing library. I mean, this is just, it's a name, right? How testing library, and we should link to it. Helps. And then let's see what we can put here. Let me see. We have like subscribe to the podcast. I think I should make a whole element where all of those things are in there and then save it as a thing, right? So this would be like, we talked about how I could actually make this workflow easier. And this would be one thing, for example. This is, I think, the right one. Subscribe, and then we have like in just the link section. Oh, sorry, this one. Links, right? Links. And then we have like testing library. And then we have like can't see dots website or Twitter, I don't know, website. I think it's Twitter, and then like testing JavaScript, I think is his website. Testing JavaScript is his website. So, and then testing library, and then he actually had like plenty of UI tools that he mentioned here. I will have to find them. I can't recall them completely. So let's see if this is already out there. So this should be actually here. So you can have a quick listen to it.
Hello and welcome to the Software Engineering Unlocked podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Michaela, and today I have the pleasure to talk to Ken C. Dots once again.
Hit that will say like durability and be a very want to verify that.
I think it's quite okay. I have to listen to it with my headphones on later, but I think it's okay. Okay, so let's mute this one and then...
And how to work with React. Yes, Kent already joined me for an expert talk about testing, but after talking well over an hour, we still had many things to discuss. So I'm super thrilled to have him back here with me. Kent, welcome to the show. Super thrilled to have him back here with me. Kent, things to discuss. So I'm super thrilled to have him back here with me. Kent, welcome to the show.
Okay. Yeah, this is not the easiest transition here, to be honest. Today I actually do this like after the fact thing. That's not that easy, right?
So I'm super thrilled to have him back here with me. Kent, well, we still had many things to discuss. So
yeah, okay. Sorry. So something like that, and then we make it here. We put it in here. And then let's put, oh, it's actually not that much. So something like that. And we have to make it a little bit nicer here on the edges. Got it in here. And then adjust it probably also over there a little bit. Oh, why?
We still had many things to discuss. But before I start, I want to ask you for a favor. If you enjoy this show, it would mean the world to me if you leave a review on Apple Podcast or any other podcasting platform of your choice. You can also help me by telling your friends about this podcast or sharing the episode on Twitter. As I want to spend even more time making great new episodes for you.
Okay. Let's try it with Amplify. Ooh, that's probably too
well
much.
Over an hour. We still had many things to discuss. But before I start, I want to ask you, Kent already joined me for an expert talk about testing, but after talking well over an hour, we still had many things to discuss. But before I start, I want to ask you for right at the top, there's a sponsorship page. I will also link it in the show notes. But now, let's get back to Kent. Kent, welcome to my show.
Okay.
So I'm super thrilled to have him.
Okay, and so we have to edit it here out a little bit.
So I'm super thrilled to have him back here with me. Kent, welcome to the show.
I'm super thrilled.
Stop. This is where I have to remove it, and then we are sort of done.
Welcome to my show.
I'm super thrilled to be back here. Thank you so much for having me again.
So, Kent, last time we talked about integration versus unit testing, and you stressed.
I think it's okay. And so now we call this, we have to rename it. I can't rename it. Okay. So let's put the intro music and then the outro music, and that's it, right? Renegade, Jubilee, Longer, this one. So. Yeah, really have to reduce that gain here.
Hello and welcome to the Software Engineering Unlocked podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Michaela, and today I have the pleasure to talk to Kent C. Dodds once again. Kent is a software engineering teacher. Before he started his training business, Kent worked...
I actually have to shift everything a little bit because this is... it's nice if you hear for a few seconds just the music, right? So that it gets your ears.
Hello.
This was too long.
Hello and welcome to the Software Engineering Unlocked podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Michaela, and today I have the pleasure to talk to Kent C. Dodds. We still had many things to discuss. But before I start, I want to ask you for a favor. If you enjoy this show, it would mean the world to me if you leave a...
Something like that, okay? And then let's see when it stops. So we have him here. So let's fade out here. And then we fade here. Let's fade here. So why is that like looks weird?
The show notes. But now let's get back to Kent. Kent, welcome to my show.
I'm super thrilled to be back here. Thank you so much for having me again.
This is very weird. I think because what happened here? Oh, I should just delete it. So this was the problem. This was very weird. Like it was still thinking. Yeah, this looks better.
I will also link it in the show notes. But now let's get back to Kent. Kent, welcome to my show.
I'm super thrilled to be back here. Thank you so much for having me again.
So, Kent, last time we talked about integration.
So, yeah, I really have to learn, I think, about this audio engineering, like, how is it called even? I forgot. I said it before. Yeah. Because this is still, it's not really nice. I can at least hear that it's not nice. Like, if you're not a designer, right, and you're looking at a website, you can tell it's an ugly website, but you don't know exactly how to improve it. And this is the same. Like, I don't know exactly how to get my, how to improve my voice here. But let's leave it like this for today. And then we have to have on my bucket list. I have to get better and understand a little bit better how to do that. And then let's do the ending, and then that's it. And I think then I will leave it for like this for today, and get myself to sleep. So
Bye bye.
Everyone.
Bye. I hope you enjoyed another episode of the Software Engineering Unlocked podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll talk to you again in 2 weeks. Bye.
okay, we are done. Let's render it out, and then that's it for today. I always call them ready if they're ready, so that I don't forget. Track title. Can't see dots 2. Track number 29, 22, technology. Okay, that's it. Well, so I think that's it for me for today. I will stream again tomorrow. I should I have it on my to-do list. I should really give it a try. You are very right. I have it on my to-do list. Actually, I just looked at it today when I was looking through all the things. Like, I had it there right now. It's on top on the top of my to-do list, and it doesn't even have like a date. So it's every day I see it, and I'm like, I should really look at it. But yeah, I should. Thank you so much for the recommendation. But yeah, so this is it for today. I hope you enjoyed. I really enjoyed again, and I will be online tomorrow 9 p.m. For the next few days, and yeah, hopefully we can do something for the tool. That would be great. I'm really excited about it, especially because now there is a second person that's interested in being a Peter user, and so this really makes me very excited about it. Yeah, so bye, and thanks so much for being with me on the stream and spending some time with me. Bye.